7. How long will life on Earth continue? As long as the warmth of the sun is conducive to it. Or, we estimate from our science, from 1 to 5 billion more years. But how can we credibly worry about such an eventuality when we must wonder if we'll destroy ourselves at any moment? It seems far more logical to do our best to assure that human life, and all other life on Earth, can continue as long as our natural lifespans will allow under nourishing conditions, including whatever extensions we, as its most intelligent inhabitants, may provide, such as handily deflecting space debris that might otherwise send us and much other animate life the way of our startled and extinct predecessors. 8. Creation has been unfolding its huge plan, if we may call it that, we now estimate for 12.6 to 13.7 billion years, ever since the pregnant moment the universe began. So its overall behavior is quite set in its ways. In fact, the inertia and interdependent dynamics of the universe make it, by far, the most reliable existence we can know. We remain, however, enthralled by the terrors of the incredibly distant. One of my favorite preposterous questions is, what do we do when the sun burns out? I find placidity in the wisdom of the Stoics, those titans of indifference who saw Rome burn without having their psyches toppled with it, and concentrate on the things I have some hope of controlling, knowing, as they did, that concern about the things I cannot control can only precipitate anxiety. We have an enormous amount of immediate, productive business in which to involve ourselves, and are likely to for as long as the human race populates this environmentally blessed and somewhat resilient orb. 9. Sometimes I wonder if, as the sun uses up its nuclear potential, the planets flower in animate succession, with Mars complete, the Earth now, Venus and Mercury still to blossom, perhaps like natural revelations to our amazed gaze. 10. In a universe that functions naturally, our lessons will be as terrible as we make them. If nuclear armaments are not effaced, we may experience a nuclear doomsday, while the fear of one continues to diminish our lives. Yet these weapons do, terrible as the truth is to accept, help keep the peace among us. So before they are all dismantled, we must merit their extinction. We might also continue to need them for certain uses, for instance, to blast an earthbound object away. Perhaps the answer is a modest stockpile, but not nearly enough to annihilate our still widely irresponsible selves. 11. Must we be prepared to welcome visitors from another planet or to defend ourselves against them? We suppose that, should they reach us first, they would be more advanced, perhaps even have learned peace and kindness, and be few in number. But what if they arrived, as we did in the New World, desperately needy after a long trip and in great numbers? Will we be the new, abundant, leaping salmon? Ah, the nightmares the human mind can present to itself. Yet they grow out of its ability to envision the panoply of possibilities, and it is up to us to accept them as significant or dismiss them as unlikely haunts. 12. It is time overdue to accept our place on the earth and begin to enjoy our stay, while we let the cloud of our imaginary doomsdays fade into forgetfulness and the fear of our natural ones waft to a justifiable distance. Time to settle in as part of creation's magnificent unfolding, with trust in it, and to know that, even at that very distant time when a natural doomsday may dawn, the human race, and all the other creatures of the earth will have had an astonishingly rewarding span of fulfillment. The multiple, in fact, of every person and every other life that has ever shined its appreciative aspect back from the life-blessed earth to the warmly nourishing sun.